Hey friends, welcome to Straight Reads. My name is Abhishek.
Hello everyone, Hiteshwar this side, and welcome to the first episode of our new podcast where we will discuss about the books and all the general things in life that we are going through.
Yeah, so Hiteshwar,
So,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. What about you? How's life treating you? How's COVID treating you right now? Because there are a lot of cases in our area and we are just surviving
Yeah,
by the week.
thankfully COVID is not treating me right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, the situation.
stay away from it.
I hope this passes soon, man.
Yeah.
All right, so on the plate today, we have some discussions from Show Your Work. So I recently finished this book called Show Your Work by
Okay.
Austin Kleon. I have a few questions which I'll be shooting your way. And let's see how that goes. And after that, we'll jump into the random section where we have a couple of topics which we'll have to talk about.
Oh, this sounds meaty.
Let's start.
Okay. So tell me about the book, man. What is it?
All right.
What is it about?
All right. Cool. So the gist is that in the modern day and age, whatever you're doing, you're like an artist, right? Even if you're a developer, you're an artist.
Yeah.
Right. You are creating something. Essentially, you're in the creative world. I guess you understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Right. And every artist needs to show their work in the modern world. That's the point of this book.
True.
Right. They're not saying that run around and try to, tell people that see this. But your audience will find you. What you need to do is to become findable.
Okay.
Right. So you can't just be sitting somewhere and say that no one is really looking at my work, no one really appreciates it. You need to make yourself findable at least, right? And the best example that I saw, right, that say you go to an interview for a new job, and before the boss actually takes your interview, they tell you that they've read your blog and they really like it.
Okay.
What can you relate to that feeling? What do you think about that one? That is the gist of Show Your Work.
That sounds an awful lot like YouTube algorithm. You have to work. You have to do a lot of work to get noticed, isn't it?
Yeah, that is definitely true. Nothing comes easy, right? Nothing in this
Yeah,
world
the
comes
same
easy.
with the job interviews. It's a tough call. I mean, बहुत सारी चीज़ें देखनी पड़ती हैं और धीरे धीरे समझ में आता है कि जो हमारे डायरेक्शन है वो सही है कि नहीं.
Yeah, for sure, right? You need to find what content you will be creating or what is your craft really and how you will
Yeah.
be putting it out there, right? And if someday if your craft is your only thing, then how you will be monetizing it? You need to figure that out as well.
But then the puzzling thing is, how do you know what is your art? मतलब डे टू डे में हम बहुत सारी चीज़ें करते हैं जो हमारे हिसाब से स्पेशल हैं, बट हर चीज़ को तो हम एक आर्ट की फॉर्म में नहीं देख सकते या देख सकते हैं. मतलब इस बारे में क्या व्यू है?
There are a bunch of examples that will come down the line when we start talking about more parts of the book. But yeah, let me take you to the point number one. That I have 4 points from the book that I want to discuss. There are more, but let's cap it to 4.
Yeah.
Cool. So the first one is that when you're working on something, say it's a small project, right? We both work as developers with good companies and we write code. All right. And the first point is that give what you have to someone. It might be very valuable to them, even though you think it's very simple, right? And I really relate to this. Like when I'm working on a problem, say I have to create a particular UI design in the app. When I'm done creating it, I'm like, this was really simple, right? You could just make some Google searches, talk to some people in the office and get it done. But then to another person who is following your footsteps, right? They might also have a similar problem. And if you put that solution out there, not like just a solution, you also put your journey out there, how you found the solution and then the solution with it. The point is that person, it'll make very easy for that person to get to the solution. So this thing which you think is very trivial might actually be like gold for another person.
So true. We all follow a lot of YouTube videos जिसमें लोग बड़ी सिंपल सी चीज़ें बताते हैं जो उनके लिए सिंपल हैं, बट एज ए न्यू कमर वो हमारे लिए एक टफ चीज़ हो सकती है. बट अगर कोई हमें उस रास्ते को दिखाए कि हाँ ये रास्ता हमें फॉलो करना चाहिए, मतलब ये रास्ता अगर तुम फॉलो करोगे तो मे बी यू विल बी एबल टू अचीव, तो हमें उतने धक्के नहीं खाने पड़ेंगे, उतनी चीज़ें नहीं देखनी पड़ेंगी, हम बड़ी आसानी से उस पॉइंट पर पहुंच जाएंगे.
Exactly, right? So I had this blog, I wrote this blog a little while ago. It's on my Medium. And
Okay.
I thought no one is going to read this and no one should read this.
I did read that.
Right? It was a really simple blog about constraint layout. But eventually that one took off, right? And like it was such a simple thing, but people are reading it because maybe instead of searching on 4 to 5 websites, reading that one blog kind of makes it easy, that one small task.
True.
So maybe that is true, and somehow the author connects it to another point, which is that sometimes another argument where I get confused sometimes is ki say you did a task, right? But then you would say कि like मुझसे आके कोई क्यों सीखेगा, right? There are masters and experts.
Yeah, it's a cutthroat competition. Why would you want someone to overtake you? Yeah, ये ख्याल आता रहता है. Thought
out there, right?
Yeah.
That there are better people who teach Android or backend development than the two of us out there, and for sure there are better developers out there. But sometimes it is even so. Sometimes a pupil actually teaches better than the master, right? So say a pupil who learned something 1 year ago, and now there's a newcomer in the space. This pupil will relate better with that newcomer, that this is where I was 1 year ago, these are the problems I faced, and this is how I should mold the teachings to teach this person, and that may actually turn out to be better than the master's way of teaching it. What do you think about this one?
But then ये भी एक तरह की आर्ट हो गई ना, ये तुमने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से सीखा और एक सामने वाले को आपने हेल्प करी. So it is kind of an art.
Yeah, I think that is actually the gist of the book. It's not like just sharing gyan, right? It's not like if you read books and you share, okay, read books this way, read at this speed, and read this many books a year, something like that. Instead of that, you share your experience, that this was the first book I started with. Then I slowly increased my reading speed. Then I tried audiobooks maybe in between, right? And that is the real content that you should be putting out there, right? Based on your experience. It should be a story which is unique to you.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one point that really hit me. The other one was, and this one is very debatable. Let me know what you think of it.
Okay.
So the second point is, take people behind the scenes of your work. Now, if an artist is working on something, they should actually take people behind the scenes of the thing. What do you think about this one?
No,
I can give more context.
I don't agree with this. It reminds me of the movie Prestige. Matlab, he was a magician. The guy, Christian Bale, was a magician, and he was showing this trick to a kid. But it was a magic for the kid until up to the point जब तक उसे ये पता नहीं था कि वो ट्रिक हो क्या रहा है उसमें. What is the behind the scene scenario that is going on to achieve that trick or the magic? But जिस पॉइंट पे उसे बता दिया, उसकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं रही.
All right.
क्योंकि हर चीज कुछ लोगों के लिए बहुत सिंपल होती है, बट उस चीज पे पहुंचने के लिए उसने जो एफर्ट डाला है वो सामने वाले को ना पता चले. एंड ये समझाना भी इतना आसान नहीं होता.
Okay. Yeah, I do get that. Okay, but then I think the point also comes around this thing, right? Say it's like Peter McKinnon, right? Let's take his example. Right, the guy makes fantastic videos.
Okay.
Right, but I really like watching videos where he teaches how he makes those videos. Like you would see a video where he's making his coffee, right, and it's an amazing shot. Like he's pouring the beans into the flask, and then crushing the beans, and then putting some hot water over it, pouring that thing. Right, the video looks amazing, but in the next video he gives the behind the scenes on how he made that video, and sometimes this video would actually get more views than the first one. What do you think about that one? Because that really interests people. They want to see the journey on how someone got there. So you can relate it to that. The journey is more interesting than the destination to a lot of people. What do you think about it now?
True, but only if you have experienced it. For someone to see from a third person point of view, I don't think I'm not able to digest this fact कि सामने वाले को इतना इंटरेस्ट आएगा. बट क्योंकि वही बात है कि हमने स्ट्रगल देखा है, हमारे लिए वो सामने वाले को समझाने में बहुत सिंपल होगा, बट अगर हम मिर्च मसाले लगा के सुनाएंगे तो ऑफ कोर्स हर किसी को पसंद आएगा.
राइट, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल. Right, there is this super famous chef, and his food is amazing, right? He's known for his cooking and baking. But one day he decides to share the recipes of some of the dishes that he creates, right? So he tells people how to, the different steps in creating those few dishes, right? Now people can actually, what happens is that people can actually relate to the experience of cooking that food. One, they know the dedication of that chef that he is putting in there. Two, the people who actually liked his food, right, love it even more because now they also know the emotions put into making it. Right, what do you think about this scenario?
From a capitalist point of view, you can't do it. तो अगर पेप्सी कोला अपने फॉर्मूला बेच रहे होते हैं 1890s में, do you think they would be able to survive till this point?
Yeah. I guess this takes us to the point of asking, before sharing anything, you should ask what will be the consequences of this.
What will be the consequences? You have to calculate that.
Right? So you decide which part is worth sharing and which part is too much risk. Because what I actually honestly feel is that it does interest taking people behind the scenes
a lot.
Your work, it does interest people a lot.
Yes.
Right, if you see any movie, a lot of movies, right, I really like watching the behind the scenes of Marvel movies.
True.
Right?
They're amazing.
And they get tons of views and they're loved by people.
Yes.
But maybe they also hide some things which should not be shared. So partial agree with this point. Like, share, but then before sharing the behind the scenes, do think that what will happen.
Always have that philanthropist side of you, but don't let it ruin your career, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Don't let the secrets out. Yeah, all right. Third one. This is again something which I have seen a lot of people do, which is be a documentarian of everything that you do. Right, so an example which was in the book is that there was this space crew who went into space. Of course, it's a space crew, right? Where else will they go? So they went into space and they were cleaning their spaceship, and they recorded a video while doing this, and then they shared it with everyone.
Okay.
And everyone just loved watching it, right? It's a normal activity, right? You're mopping and cleaning stuff. But it's in freaking space. It's in a spaceship. And people love to watch it. Have you not seen the video of this person on YouTube where an astronaut is just brushing her teeth in space and water bubbles are just flying upwards?
Dude, I have even watched JCP videos. Don't judge me, but सब देख लेता है मैं. But yeah, it will be very interesting to watch someone brushing teeth in space. मतलब gold. ऐसी चीजें मैं एक बार चलाना स्टार्ट कर दूं तो आई डाउट कि मैं उसे बंद कर पाऊंगा एक दिन तक.
Right, and anyone who wants to become an astronaut one day would love to.
That is a very good inspiration to continue on.
Right. So what I was saying is, not I was saying, the point in the book is, and this one I completely agree with, that no matter you think if it is interesting or not, keep documenting what you're doing and keep sharing bits from it. Even if you think they're not very interesting, there are people who are following in your footsteps and
Yes.
people who are on your level who will really like it.
Yeah, it will interest someone in this world. There are 6 billion people in this world. Actually, 7 billion. It's touching, and it will interest people. A lot of them.
Definitely.
ये हो
And
सकता है कि कुछ टाइम लग जाए उस लेवल पे पहुंचने के लिए, उन मतलब असली ऑडियंस पे पहुंचने के लिए, बट श्योर इट्स अ ग्रेट वे टू गो.
yeah, definitely. And the author even goes ahead and says that you should share something small every day. What do you think of this one? Would you do it? Would you do it?
What do you mean by that?
Share something small from your craft every day. Something small, like say if you're working on a particular project, you share small parts. Like today I learned this small thing about how to write better code. Right? Something small.
I can relate to you in the sense कि अगर हम let's talk about World War II. What was special about US is कि they have an elite group of scientists who were working on different things, and they together, मतलब sharing their knowledge with each other, developed a lot of things. Like 19th, हम अगर केमिस्ट्री की बुक उठाते हैं, फिजिक्स की बुक उठाते हैं, what we realize is कि 1900 to 1950 was the golden period. Why was those days the golden period of work in these fields? Because a lot of people were together who were highly intelligent, and they were sharing a lot of information with each other.
Yeah, definitely. And then collectively the group gets better, right?
Yeah. It reminds me of the Kobe Bryant discussion we had a while back. Like,
which one?
Yeah, like you act to an, मतलब in a group of elite, you have to मतलब uplift everyone. जब तक आप मतलब सबको पुश नहीं करोगे, आप एलीट से ऊपर वाले लेवल पे नहीं पहुंचोगे. मतलब वर्ल्ड क्लास बनना एक बात है, बट एक लेजेंड बनना, यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन इट. वर्ल्ड क्लास हो सकते हैं लोग, बट लेजेंड तभी बनते हैं जब उनको कोई पुश करने वाला होता है.
Definitely.
For every Roger Federer, there is a Nadal and there is Novak Djokovic, who was behind the scene, who were pushing him to the extreme to work this hard throughout his career.
Right. And the final sub point in this point is that if you create something small every day, or not even every day, very frequently, right? Small bits, 90% of it is going to be crap. Right? But by doing that, you will figure out the 10% of the things which is actually good and people are interested in it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
From these, say you do one every day, in a month you will have 30, and after a year you will have 365 pieces of small content, right? Out of these 365 small crappy pieces, you can create one big masterpiece.
Yeah,
right. That is what really hit home for me.
That is freaking awesome. मतलब तुमने 365 चीजें करी, तभी उनमें से तुम एक awesome चीज बना पाए.
Exactly.
अगर
right?
तुम ट्राई ना करते तो भूल जाओ ऐसा कुछ हो पाता तुमसे.
Exactly, right? You think कि I will share when I do something big, that next big thing. But when you do it, you will think that, oh, this is small, I'll do something big, right? But if you share those 365 small things, you'll actually realize that if you combine some of them, it's actually quite big, and you don't need to realize that. Your audience will tell you that.
I am realizing that this is our first podcast, and we are putting one of our work forward in this quest to achieve something. And it's such a good first podcast to discuss about. Such a good topic. I'm impressed, Abhishek.
Even if we end up making, say, 100 crappy episodes, if we make 100 crappy episodes, but 2 of those episodes are able to, help people relate to books, and they start reading books after that. That would be so cool, right? And if in the random section, say we are talking about safety in cars, and 2 people decide to buy a safer car, that's just awesome, right? So
yeah, that is awesome, especially in a country like India, where the car safety is not taken to the priority that it should be.
Yeah. So before we get to the last point, I think we both agree on point number 3, that you need to keep
absolutely agree on this one.
putting out small pieces.
Cool.
Now we'll get to the last one,
which is
I'm getting to it, right?
Yeah, I was just pushing you.
Yeah. So the first one, which you have already said, right? Do not share things that can hurt people, projects, or businesses. Right? Be mindful of what you are sharing. Right? Say if you are a cook, you're a magician. If you want to share some of your tricks, which will actually interest more people into the real thing, right?
Yeah.
Say you're a musician, you actually share the behind the scenes, and that way people relate more to your music and they will listen more to your music now. But that doesn't mean before the album is released you leak the whole thing.
That is so true.
Right? So be mindful of it. So see, the author took care of the fact that he has praised a lot of things in the book, but now he also needs to maintain that balance and tell people what is not good.
Now then, point number 2 is complemented by this point number 4. It makes sense now. It was not making any sense earlier, but now it makes sense.
Yeah, I think we'll learn while making the episodes of this podcast. From next time, we'll know when to combine points.
Yeah.
Cool. So the second point, and I'll be asking you to give example for this one, that the content should be useful for people. How do you think of this one?
But first I have a question. How do you justify if a content is useful or not? And how will you quantify it?
How do you justify if a piece of content is useful for you or not?
I mean, if you have the gut feeling कि it will work, it will be a good thing, you should get it out. अगर अच्छा होगा तो someone will relate and get help from it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be lost in the sea of internet memes and everything.
Yeah, I feel it is only useful in some certain scenarios. Either you are teaching someone a certain thing, right, which is the teaching side of the education side of the internet, right? Or it can be entertainment, right? People need to lighten up their mood, and you're essentially providing entertainment. In that case, it is useful, right? People have so much stress, but then you're helping them to reduce that stress a bit. Or it can be a mixture of both, which is like infotainment channels on YouTube or Instagram.
Yeah, a lot of them. They're good. They're great. But
something like a kid is sitting in a room and eating Tide Pods. Have you seen that? No. So there was this.
Share that later.
There was this challenge. On YouTube. Where so in India we get this Tide, right? The washing powder.
Okay.
In some countries you get these Tide Pods. So what happens is it's a small piece. It's like the size of a brownie.
Dude, are you talking about those Amazon pods? Amazon Tide Pods?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Right. So there was a challenge where kids have to eat them.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Is
it even?
You would find hundreds of videos. Just search for Tide Pods.
Is it even edible? I mean, what the?
Yeah, I mean, but kids used to do it, right? It's cool. It was cool apparently for them, right?
Okay.
Something like that is what I count as completely non-useful.
Yeah, it is rubbish. Don't do that.
What would you think? Give me
anyone ever listening to this podcast, don't do that.
Yeah, don't eat Tide Pods, please.
Yeah. Hashtag ban that item.
Yeah.
I think they have discontinued it right now. Didn't they?
Maybe. Yeah. But give me an example of a content which you watched, but it was completely useless. Like it should not exist.
Am I allowed to say reaction videos? I'm not sure. There are a lot of YouTube reaction videos. I don't see a point of them, but they exist. But dude, this will be such a bad example if in future we start reacting on videos.
Yeah.
But I think they are useless.
I'll hold you down to this episode.
Yeah. I'll be bringing to the sword.
Cool. Give me an example.
So, have you ever came across the pretentious movie reviews? done by two guys earlier in the days. They used to roast a movie. Roasting is also kind of reaction to something.
Yeah.
But their way of putting out, they did their research. They watched the movie, they found the fallacy in the movies, and put up a very good video out on the internet. Now that is what I called a proper reaction video, where you have done your homework, where you have done made a good video out of it, made a good script, and just passed the door. But then there are some people on internet who are contributing by, oh my god, क्या देख लिया ये, oh my god, आंखें बड़ी कर लेते हैं. What the hell? वो क्या है वो? That is fake thing. I don't want to see that. That's useless for me.
All right. Yeah, I do get that. So essentially something which does not really, which is completely, it's like a parasite, right?
Yeah, it's a parasite. But then people like to watch it. Even I am, I can't excuse myself for watching the JCB videos. That's also useless. Why am I watching that stuff?
Yeah, but I guess what you're trying to say is that from that content, if you remove the movie, say it is a reaction to a movie, then there is zero depth left to the content itself. I guess that's what you mean.
No, there are a lot of people out there who do good reaction videos in which they discuss the depth of different stories. I mean, there are breakdowns. Like, they're really good. They help us understand the nitty-gritties of movies and how the things are made.
So which are these reaction videos that you don't like, which doesn't have anything to do with the movie, actually?
Like, let's just say there are three Englishmen who are reacting to a trailer of Hindi movie. They don't understand shit. They know the YouTube algorithm. They know that if they type anything Indian in their title, it will sell. A lot of people are going to go wild, just see how someone from England is reacting to one of their movie trailers.
Yeah, I got another example now.
What is it?
So it's these videos on YouTube. So essentially, a lot of videos these days have sponsored content, right?
Right.
So in the middle, if it is from a influencer, if it's like a vlog, they will just show you the product. See, they'll tell you how the product is helpful, and maybe they'll drop a link in the description, right? And sometimes it's more subtle, right? That you are watching a movie and then there is a product placement in the movie, right? So like James Bond movies have all these Sony phones, right? I remember. And Aston Martin, right?
A lot of them.
Those are good product
Beautiful.
placements.
Yeah, they are beautiful.
Right? But there is also a lot of content out there which is just advertisement. Like if there is a YouTube video and you take the advertisement out of it and the rest of the thing makes no sense, I don't think that's very useful.
Yeah, I have watched a few of them, and I blocked that page. I hated it.
Yeah, I guess the content should not be wrapped around the advertisement. The advertisement should be a part of the content.
Yeah, it should make a sense. If it is a tech YouTube channel and you are sponsoring a soap company, what? Why are you doing it?
Exactly. The next one is, and this is one of my favorite points, it should be interesting. The way it is told, it should be interesting.
Yeah,
the storytelling.
Yes.
If you do amazing work but you don't know how to do the storytelling part, you will still be behind the people who are good at storytelling.
It's an art that should be taught at the school, I think.
Exactly. And you learn it with time, right? Perfect examples. Casey Neistat, right? Amazing storytelling. And this guy Junejo, storytelling, ek number. Yeah, you have any examples?
MKBHD is a good one. The last video that he came up with, the shark idea, and that's a gold standard.
The video with air tags, like people what do you say, no shade being thrown on other tags reviews.
Hmm.
But then the way he took the example of sharks and the fishes, which are like the parasites to the shark, and the way he tells the story, right? I think that's what makes his videos interesting.
Yes.
Right, because then you're hooked to the video while you're watching it. There's a story and you're waiting for the climax.
Yeah. I feel the same with the Power Drift video as well, the Indian YouTuber.
Yeah.
They do a fabulous job in creating stories. I mean,
Drift,
they are more of, as you usually say, they are more of cinematographers and storytellers than car reviewers.
Yeah, for sure.
And definitely. How they combine these two genres into something like makhan. Their videos are makhan.
Yeah, I completely agree. Power Drift is amazing. If you like cars and you have not seen Power Drift, please go do it.
Yeah, totally.
The storytelling is amazing. Cool. The last 2 points, which you should.
How many points are there? I'm hearing the next point, and now there are 2 more points. What are those?
Do not spam. Do not be a human spam machine. Yeah. You are contributing your work to the world, but do not become a spam machine to the people.
Now I'm confused. Are you talking about just about what I just said, or this is the next point?
This is the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, and eventually you want hearts to be looking at your content, not just eyeballs.
True.
Right? It's easy to get eyeballs looking at your content, but it's difficult to get your, true audience or hearts to follow your content. This is the final point.
Yes, you're right. This is kind of sum up of how a YouTube channel should be started, isn't it?
Yeah, and also what is wrong with a lot of YouTube channels.
Yeah, what is wrong with a lot of YouTube channels?
Right, it is very easy. I won't say very easy, but it is fairly easy if you just want to go viral and have a lot of eyeballs looking at your Dinchak Puja. Do I need to mention that? But yeah, right. Any examples that you have?
Yeah, man, you did perfect.
That's a perfect example, right? You have millions of eyeballs looking at you, but
yeah, don't be that clickbait guy that everybody hates.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So this is where we end the discussion on show your work. If you do resonate with some points, start showing your work, start sharing it, start contributing to the world of content, especially in this day and age of the internet.
Dude, I'm interested to show my work in the next one.
Sure, let's do it. Yeah, now we'll be moving on to the
random stuff.
Yeah. What do you want to call it? Straight random? Straight nothing?
Random stuff?
Yeah. We also need to talk about why we call it straight reads, maybe in some other episode.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's a story behind straight reads. Yeah, let's do it in some other episode. But yeah, cool. So I'll take the first topic and then you can take the second one.
Oh, you are taking a lot of topics now. Let me start first.
All right, go ahead.
So we have new iMacs in the market and they are colorful as they're freaking colorful.
Dear words.
Yeah.
Is that
so what are your views about it?
Are we hosting a PG-13 show or is it R-rated? What are the guidelines?
I think we should move to the PG-13 and block any bad words.
Okay, so kids, keep watching.
Yeah. I'm Sharif Loge, bhai.
Yeah, what do you think of the iMac design?
I asked you the same question. What do you think of iMac design? How are the How are the colors going?
I think from the back the colors look really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if you enter a room and you see the back of the new iMac, sorry, it is going to look really good.
But is it necessary to have colorful bags? What are your views? Is it a typical Apple way of doing things?
See, I am someone who owns everything which is silver or black.
Okay.
Right. So it doesn't really apply to me.
So you are not colorful enough for new iMacs.
All right, let's call it that. But yeah, I guess Apple is moving into that direction, right? The iPhone comes in like a dozen colors now, and the iMac is just following it. The iPad also comes in colors now. It's not just silver or black.
Yeah,
But what I do mind is that on the front, the design is very distracting. There's a huge chin, and then there are white bezels around it. What do you think of the white bezels?
I think we need some changes in the design, and it's a good direction to go in. There is no harm in having white, but yeah, chain it's too much. It's too wide for someone to not notice it.
But yeah, you know what? I was watching a video. I think it was from Dave 2D on the new iMac, or maybe someone else, not sure. That I think the iMac design is very purpose built, and it has completely fulfilled the purpose.
From a creator's perspective, it's a very good design.
Even from Apple's perspective, if you enter a room and you see a device with white bezels and a colorful chin, you know it's an iMac.
Sure.
If you spot a little bit of a computer which is very thin and has a chin in a YouTube video, you know that person is using an iMac. It is an excellent marketing opportunity. I think that's why Apple did it.
But then every company in the world is known to copy Apple.
Yeah, that is true.
So the exclusivity may last maybe 6 months before anyone else jump the ship and come up with the same design.
But like if you see any generic monitor, the bezels are the same size all around, right?
Yeah, it's too monotonous.
But if you see a silhouette of a monitor which has a chin at the bottom, you instantly know that it's an iMac. You don't even need to, get the full. Even if you see a blurry picture of the iMac, you know it's an iMac. You can't miss it for something else.
Yeah, for the next 6 months.
Yeah, you keep telling me that, sure. And the same thing is with the iPhone notch as well, right? If you see a phone from far away, from the front, you can identify it's an iMac. If I show you an Android phone, I bet you can't tell me what an Android phone is that.
No, I can't tell. My parents couldn't tell which phone I'm using. For them, all the phones are same. The MIs and the Samsungs and everything is same.
The Samsung S10 with the left-sided hole punch. The OnePlus 8, I think 8T. All of them just look the same. Rounded corners, no bezels, a hole punch. But if you see an iPhone, you know. Even if you see just like a 2D picture of an iPhone and there are no icons on the home screen, you know it's an iPhone. I think that's why they did it.
Yeah.
And that's for most of the Apple products as well. Or maybe they are trying to do that for most of their Apple products. Just like the Mac Pro, right? If you see a Mac Pro, you can't miss it for any other computer. You know it's a Mac Pro.
Dude, I think lately they have turned their attention toward the creatives. They were a long time, this was long time coming. They were ignoring their creatives, and they were the ones who started this revolution of having a lot of Apple products, especially the computer market and the laptop market. They contributed a lot to it, and they were neglected for the longest time. But now Apple has realized that maybe they should turn back to those creatives who are still using their 6-year-old Apple products, and they're the perfect target to sell this product.
Yeah, but I don't completely agree that the new iMac is for the pros. I think there will be an iMac Pro at some point in space gray.
Oh, yeah, with the M1X chip, Pro possibly.
M1X, M2, M5, whatever it is called.
It's quite possible.
Yeah. What do you think M means in M1? Magic?
In Apple philosophy, sure. And the marketing team would surely market it as magic. I don't know what they mean by that.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, that's it about the iMac design. That's why initially I was not convinced, but now I am pretty convinced that Apple doesn't care what people are saying. They created the design for a purpose, and it is fulfilling that exact purpose.
Long history, same results. Apple doesn't care. I've been hearing this thing since so long, and still people are buying them.
Right, exactly. It's not like if you tell Apple today that something is not good, they'll fix it tomorrow. They have a plan for 10 years, and they're going to stick to that plan.
And what they tell is what people buy.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Let's move to the next one. Yeah, let's do recording time. And this is like, we are also figuring out the podcast on the podcast. So right now we are recording it at 1 a.m. around 1 a.m. Why are we doing this? Are we crazy?
Well, this is a Sunday and we are professionals. We work on weekdays and we only have the weekends to enjoy. And since during the day I was having fun, we are recording at the night.
Yeah. Also, another thing I feel is that it's just so silent right now. So I guess it's a good thing that we are recording in the night, but we can also try early morning. What do you think about that one?
We can, but then सब जाग जाएंगे घर में. I share my room मतलब अभी with my sibling and she is very annoyed कि इस टाइम ये कौन सा टाइम होता है रिकॉर्ड करने का, चुपचाप सोया नहीं जाता, मेरे को भी सोने दे रहा.
Yeah, बात तो ठीक है. Cool. I guess we need to figure something out about this. If we ever decide to do an episode 2.
हाँ कर लेंगे वो तो. Weekends, I think weekend पे हमारा बहुत अच्छे से टाइम निकल सकता है. During weekdays it is hard, but once we get traction, I will मतलब फिर तो कभी भी shoot कर लो.
Right. And how is your setup for the podcast going?
I guess I really like it, but the recording is not going on. We need to figure something out. I mean, the phone is not working. It gets too hot, and it's not a very good solution for the setup of a podcast or a video podcast as well.
Yeah.
And which brings me to the point कि how is your setup going? The podcast ka setup. Should we spend more money on it, or should we have to find something for the video? I'm not able to record my videos with this smartphone.
I have a Galaxy S10 and it's just fantastically been recording all this time.
I think Samsung team is providing update to the camera right now. That's why it's not working. Because मेरे हर फोन के साथ यही हुआ है. जब तक इन्होंने सॉफ्टवेयर सपोर्ट दिया है, it works shitty, and the day they stopped giving software support, the thing has started working.
It's weird that S20 is not working, but the S10 is working.
Yeah. Did you hear about the thing that there is a lawsuit going against Samsung for the S20 Ultras?
About what?
About their cameras. They are the camera sheet at the back, the glass, is blasting out.
Oh.
And Samsung is not ready to hear to the people it's a problem in the manufacturing, and people are not happy in spending a lot of money, and there are a number of cases where this problem has been noticed by the customer, and they are planning to move to the courts.
That sounds quite serious.
But then S20 Ultra was never a good phone for any kind of video or audio work. The autofocus just sucks.
Yeah. If you want to do video, just buy an iPhone right now. That's like the default option.
# major investment. It cost a bomb in India.
Yeah, it is a major investment. But yeah, I guess it's also the best option.
I think I would rather buy a DSLR.
That makes sense as well. So I am recording with the phone. It's on a stand. And I have actually, unlike your fancy Blue Yeti, I have a relatively cheaper mic.
Yeah, I thought as I will spend good amount and just stick with it for next 2 or 3 years.
It sounds amazing. Yeah. It sounds amazing for sure. And I guess for listening purposes, we have the same setup pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much same. 1003 is yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I have the silver ones, you have the black ones. Why are they plugged in? No Bluetooth?
They are plugged into the Blue Yeti. I'm directly hearing my own voice as well as your voice through them. So Blue Yeti has quite a lot of features, and it's great. We should actually get a review in the next one of those podcasts of how good it is.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a Blue Yeti review, and then someday I get a Blue Yeti. Cool. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. So if you listened till this far, you get a virtual high five from us for bearing with us for almost 30 minutes.
Oh, dude, that's 50 minutes in our recording times.
What?
Yeah.
What? I thought it's 30 minutes, 50 minutes. Okay. I will chop off a little bit of it. Right?
Yeah, true. Cool. But then still hats off to you, anyone listening out there. I mean, it's a privilege to get a person like you to listen.
मतलब
यकीन सा नहीं होगा कोई वैसे लिसन करेगा, मेरे को लगता नहीं कोई सुनेगा, बट अगर कोई सुन रहा है तो guys do know that you are special.
Yeah, definitely. If you have any book recommendations, drop them in the comments. Spotify doesn't have comments, right? But YouTube does have comments. Or you can just email them to us, 2straightreads@gmail.com.
2 as in T-O.
Yeah, T-O. It's like sending to, right? Sending to. Send 2straightreads@gmail.com. That's how that works. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. We'll improve slowly. Should we elongate the book part of it? Should we shorten out the book part of it? Add more topics to the random part of it? Yeah, this is just two of us having fun and chilling out.
Yay! Tada, bye bye. See ya. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is in your city. Bye bye.
मेरे लिए तो गुड नाइट है. शुभ रात्रि.
शुभ रात्रि.